height. I don't want to go into that, but those ones are, we call them armed robber salary. We call them armed robber salary.
Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about working and studying in Malta, and I have a very special guest with me today. He's my very own pastor, Pastor Yemi. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to come
You're welcome. Nice
to the
having
show.
me.
Yeah, okay. So without any hesitation, we will be diving right into the questions some of our followers have been asking.
All right.
So they have asked questions regarding working and studying in Malta. So first question, so I do not miss it, I actually jotted down some of the questions I was going to be asking, so they have details of what they wanted. So the first person asked, why did you choose Malta for studies and work?
Okay.
And how does it fit into your overall career and educational aspiration?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good day, everyone. Depending on the time you're watching this video at this point in time. To answer the question very straight, I think for me, why Malta was a choice for me is because, number one, the language. For me as a person, I actually was planning the UK then.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I came through the school I was considering in the UK, and I observed that they had a campus in Malta here. And I now started to understand, okay, why Malta? I said, okay, Malta, after UK and Ireland, Malta remains the third English-speaking country in Europe.
Okay.
Yes, apart from UK and Ireland, the only country that speaks English as a national language is Malta in Europe. And I feel like I'm comfortable to live in a place where I can easily communicate with people.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to go to a place where I will have to struggle learning another language because I know I'm not good at language.
Yeah. So
that's why the choice of Malta for me. And as well, the school I came in to study is a UK school in Malta here. And the course I studied was almost double the price if I had gone to the UK to study the same course. Almost double the price in the UK. So it was cheaper, it was easier for me because of the language, and the weather was very wonderful. It's almost similar to the weather of Nigeria. So those are the points I consider before I made a choice of Malta.
Oh, okay. So when did you actually start studying in Malta?
I came in 2019, yes.
As at then, how was the fees?
The fee as at that time for the program I did was 9,000 euros for the entire program.
Okay, so basically, as you came to Malta, as the time has progressed so far, do you think there is any transitioning from what you paid in 2019 and what you are paying in 2020?
Yes, it has actually increased to about 12,000 euros now.
For the application, as at then, you said you paid 9,000.
Yes, euros for the tuition, yes.
For the tuition fee?
Yes.
After you got to Malta, did you have to pay an extra fee for the complete course?
No, the only thing you have to pay on a monthly basis is your rent.
Okay.
No, but the 9,000 was everything for the tuition, for the studying, for the entire period of study.
Okay. When you got to Malta, the accommodation, how did you navigate your ways around getting an accommodation?
Actually, before we arrived then, because a couple of us, not only myself, there was a group of persons that the school arranged for then. So when all of us got admission to the school, like created a forum for all of us. So we had a communication, like a platform where we are having conversation on a regular basis. So before we arrived, the school had already made arrangement for the accommodation for everybody.
Okay.
The school had to get some apartment for all of us, and we made payments for the first 2 months. So when we arrived, we continued making the payment for the subsequent months. Okay. So we didn't have to struggle looking for accommodation when we arrived because it was there for us. We even signed the contract of accommodation before we left Nigeria, because one of the criteria, let me just mention this now because you might ask later, of you getting visa issued is that contract of accommodation. Okay. One of the requirements that you need before you apply for visa to come into Malta is that contract of accommodation. So, and the school already preempted that, so they made the arrangement for that for us. We signed the accommodation contract. We paid the first 2 months, and when we arrived, we continue paying the subsequent months.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when you got to Malta, were you allowed to bring your family members, or you came just on your own?
Just myself. One thing, let me just make it clear now. Unlike what you see in the UK, in Malta, you are not, as a student, permitted to go with your family members as a student until you finish your study. And if you finish your study, you must get a job. When you have a job, you can now apply to bring in your dependents, for your wife, your kids, if you are married, after you have finished studying and you have started working. But as a student, Depending on the length of your program, you can only manage to stay alone till you finish your studies. Then when you get a job, you start working, you can now apply to bring in your dependents. So that's unlike what you see in the UK, that as a student, you can bring in dependent immediately. You can't do that in Malta.
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, for when you got to Malta for studies, how long was your course for?
Well, just a year.
Okay.
Just a year.
Just a year. Yes. Okay. So after you had to transition to working.
Exactly.
While you're studying, can you work?
Of course, you're permitted to work 20 hours every week.
Regardless of studying?
Regardless of. Malta allows a student to have 20 hours of work on a weekly basis. They even issue a work permit in regards to that.
Okay.
So you're not going against the law as long as it's within 20 hours per week. Yeah.
Okay. So after you finish working, can you continue with that work, or you have to look for a different job entirely after school?
The good thing about Malta, let me just state it as you have mentioned it now, is that compared to the UK, in the UK, when you go to study, after your study, you have to transition to post-study visa, right?
Yeah.
In Malta, automatically after you have finished your study, the government allows you to stay 1 more year.
Okay.
Without you doing anything, as in you don't need to pay another money to transition from study visa to post-study visa. Okay. You just need to apply for your residence card again, another year, without anything. Just make sure you have a contract of accommodation, and you apply again for the next 1 year after your study. You are permitted to stay as a resident of Malta. In that process, for that 1 year, you are permitted to now look for a job. For a year, Ali, you are a resident, a legal resident in Malta. While you are looking for a job for a year, which I know that you can't even look for a job for a month, you'll get a job.
Yeah.
So
depending on what they are looking for.
Exactly. Depending on what I would advise, because if it is to get a job, just to get your work stay in terms of work permit, just get something doing, get your work permit that gives you a legal stay. Then you can, along the line, get something you want to find in your own field, if that is the case, and move. But in Malta, you have 1 more year after your studies to stay legally without you doing anything, even if you don't have a job.
Which is good.
Which is very good, which is an advantage to what you see in the UK and other countries. Okay. Some countries, as you are ending your studies, if you don't have a job, either you're out of the country or something.
Yeah.
But Malta is different.
Yeah, okay. So do you require IELTS to apply for any school here in Malta?
Not at all, especially when you're coming from an English-speaking country like Nigeria.
Okay.
Language requirement is not there, like you must have it. They believe that your WAEC result or your NECO result already gives you the platform and the preference to be considered for it, because you were taught in English for everything.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is, maybe in addition to your SSC result, you can have a letter from your school that your study,
okay, like a transcript.
No, not even a transcript. If you are coming for a master's degree program, you can have a reference letter from your school that your bachelor's was taught in English.
Okay.
That covers.
So no IELTS?
Not at all. Not at all.
So it is basically the requirements. You stated the requirements consist of what, please?
As in for the study, for the admission?
For the admission. For
the admission is just if you're coming for master's, of course, your bachelor's, your transcript is there, your bachelor's certificate is there, your SSC result is there, of course, your passport, national passport. Those are the main thing. Then one reference letter.
Okay.
Mostly from, if you are working before in Nigeria, from your employer. If you have not been working, from your school where you finished last. A reference letter is always
recommended.
Yes, it's always required. Yeah.
Okay. So when you get to Malta, is that when you get issued a blue card?
I mean, I won't believe that's resident card, right?
Yes, the resident card.
Okay, good. When you arrive in Malta, you only come into Malta with a visa. A visa is what allows you to enter any country, of course. So you come in with a visa, and it depends on the number of days. For us, then we had 3 months visa tenure. So within that 3 months, that means you must have applied for your resident card. And all you need to apply for your resident card is, number one, your admission letter from the school, because you're coming as a student. And like I always mention, what is very important that you cannot miss is that accommodation contract.
Okay.
Yes, without that contract of accommodation, you can't even do anything in Malta. That's the truth. So accommodation contract, your admission letter as a student, and your proof of fund. How do I mean by proof of, not the kind you see in other countries. All they want to see is that you have substantial amount of money in your account that can sustain you for a while you are staying in Malta, because you are a student, you're not working yet.
Yeah.
So you must prove to the government that, okay, Ali, for the next 4 months, I can take care of myself. So, and it doesn't have to be in the account for a couple of days, like you see in other countries, like UK, you have to put in the account for like 28 days. No, this time around, all they want to see is the balance in your account. An account balance that shows that, okay, the next 3-4 months, you can sustain yourself, because they expect you to still go to classes before you start work. Even if you want to work for 20 hours, you cannot come into Malta today and start working for 20 hours today. So that doesn't need to be too much of a month. I think for now, they require, I think, a proof of like 4,000 euros
in your bank
in your account, a balanced amount, not amount that must be there for a particular period of time.
Okay.
Even if you put the money there yesterday and it shows in your balance that you have 4,000 euro equivalent in your account, it's good for the purpose of
4,000 euros.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any idea about the wages here in Malta?
Yes. The minimum wage in Malta is about, as of this year, 192.73 per week. 192.73 euros weekly.
Okay.
But good thing is that the Minister of Finance just made the declaration 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And by next year, it will be increased to 213 point something.
Wow, that's
per week. So actually, Malta it increases every month, every year. Every year, there's always a declaration.
So it helps with the economy.
Exactly.
The
they always look at the economic growth, look at every other factor in place. They call it cost of living allowances. COLA. Cost of it. So they look at all those things, looking at, okay, the inflation rate and every other thing, and come up with, okay, what can we jack up to make sure everybody can live within their means, not struggling. So this year, they just announced 2 weeks ago by the Minister of Finance that next year will be 213 point something per week. And that is when I say minimum wage, that's the least you can get and earn as a worker in Malta. That means semi-skill or lower skill job.
Right.
So that is the least. Even if you are doing cleaning job, which is one of the least paying job, you must earn such an amount. So as good as that. So if you are a very high skill, high paid job,
like
you
in
know.
IT.
I don't want to go into that, but those ones are, we call them arm robber salary. We call them arm robber salary.
Oh, okay.
They are well paid.
So would you advise anybody to just leave their jobs in Nigeria and move to Malta to start like a new life, come here to study and then transition to working? Would you advise anybody?
It's relative and it's personal. It's I would not say leave Nigeria, leave what you're doing and come to Malta or travel abroad, but I would say it's a personal decision by each and every one of us. It depends on what you're looking for. It depends on your goal in life. Everybody has different reasons why they move from one country to the other.
Yeah.
So I would just say, if your intention or your plan or your goal is to have a situation where you have rest of mind in terms of, okay, you are not after it's good when you travel abroad, you make money, but apart from the money making, you want peace of mind in terms of you cannot sit back, get settled, and plan ahead for your life.
Yeah.
And I think I would advise you it's a good decision. And in Malta, because like I always say, a language here is an advantage. We are English-speaking country, and the good thing that will benefit you is that you can even speak better English than many of them.
To be honest.
Than many of them. So you stand at a better chance. For a few persons that have come in contact with that came from Africa or from Nigeria or from mostly, you have that advantage. Even in your workplace, you speak better, you communicate better. Yeah. So you have that advantage.
You even try to improve your English.
So it's really an advantage for you. Then moving to Malta is a very good decision if you want to have access to other countries in Schengen region.
Yeah.
With your Maltese resident card, you don't need anything. Just book your flight and go to any place you want to go. Have a good time of your life. Move your family around. Have the best. You don't have anything to worry about insecurity, not to worry about kidnapping or anything, criminal activity. You are secure, you are safe, you have peace of mind, and you can make money for yourself and you can plan your life. So it's not something I would say leave or don't leave. It's a personal decision. It depends on what you are looking for. Some people leave because they just want a sense of
ownership,
fulfillment in life. So it depends on what you are looking for. But to be honest with you, I have never regretted the decision I took moving. I don't think my family has ever regretted one.
So are there any specific clauses or regulations that hinders anybody from coming from Nigeria to Malta to work or study?
I would say, as of now, there is none. The truth is that even if there was one, it will never be made public.
True.
So let's be realistic. Even if there was one, it will never be made public because it is against the law, human rights law. Anybody can move to one location and you are allowed to work. So, but as at the moment, and with my little understanding, because I work in the HR sector. So I understand there is none of such. However, we must understand that every country, every settlement has a tendency of feeling like don't come and hijack what belongs to us.
True.
Whether we like it or not. So that is always there. It's a mindset. It is not a policy of the government. It is not a regulation of the government, but it's a mindset of the people, which is not peculiar to those here. It's peculiar to every location you find yourself. This is fear of how can you come from nowhere and come and take up what belongs to us. However, one thing I always advise, when you move abroad, when you travel to any location, you must make sure you are singled out.
Yeah.
You must have something in you that gives you preference, something that gives you an edge over the others around you. So if you are traveling abroad, you must have some skill that will single you out and make it. They cannot do without you. They will feel like we need this person. And that will, so when you travel abroad, look around you. What are the things that are working there? For instance, in Malta, there are two key professions that are really thriving: the tech profession and the medical profession.
Okay.
The business is coming up as well. So the tech and the medical, for instance, nursing, healthcare. So if you are, for instance, in the tech profession and you are in Malta, you must know that there are things you need to do to add value to yourself so you could be needed.
Yeah.
So you don't come to play and feel like, yes, I have what it takes. No, you must make sure you work to get certain skills that will keep you on top of the others.
Yeah.
So and likewise in medical. But now another sector that is thriving now, that is coming up, is the business sector, like business administration, business analysis, and the likes. So it depends. You have to key in. So the two key things I would advise, and most of the institutions in Malta now, from UK that in Malta, that they focus on the business area in terms of the tech. Those two key professions they are working on them seriously, and you cannot struggle to get a job. I can tell you for free.
So basically,
you cannot struggle to get after you finish.
So basically, if you find yourself in these two fields, it's very easy to get a job.
It's not difficult at all.
Also, to just include, depending on whoever comes to Malta and is struggling to get a job, there's always I think availability to be a waiter. That's the least I can say, or a cleaner, or which of the positions are?
There are several of them. In fact, let me say one sector that always needs people, if you are not the one that feel like I'm too big for this, is hospitality sector, hotel, restaurant. That sector is one sector that's always in need. In fact, that's one of the sectors that's bringing more people to Malta.
Okay.
So they always need. So if as a student, that is even one of the jobs that is easy to find.
Okay.
If you want to just get something done as a student and earn money for now while you're still studying, you can never look and search for a waiting job and struggle. You will find it easily. A waiting job, any restaurant job, like even dishwashing, waiting, even kitchen assistant, even hotel receptionist. Those hospitality jobs are readily available. So for now, when you are studying, you can easily pick up any of those things and get and earn money so that you can pay. Because I always advise you cannot keep paying your bills in Malta with your Naira account.
True.
No. You can't even do that. That will really, you will struggle. You will struggle. Even if you had saved 100 million in Naira before coming in, if you begin to convert in the next 6 months, you will feel it in your account. So when you arrive here, whatever you can lay your hands upon as a student, maybe waiting job or something, and you are earning that money in euros. It saves you. You can pay the bills in euros. You will not struggle. You won't have headache over because maybe if you come to abroad, begin to convert Naira. Say, Jesus, I've converted. I've spent 2 million
now.
Because you will be struggling. You'll be having headache. But when you begin to earn in that euro and you're paying your bills in euro, you have less stress in your system. So anything you can do as a student, don't be too big. That's one thing people don't know. But when you finish your studies, you can now apply for the main job. And because you have studied here, you have the certificate here, it becomes so easy for you to get a job. They don't discriminate. They feel like, okay, you have studied here. And that's one of the things they consider. Okay, when did you arrive in Malta? This year. What did you do? I studied. Before you know it, they give you that opportunity to get a job, isn't it?
So is it easy to get a job in HR after you study here?
It's not difficult. It's not difficult. To be honest with you, maybe because of my personal experience and for every other person that we studied together. At least I can say that, like I mentioned earlier on, we came in group from Nigeria. And I can tell you that virtually everybody is working in one profession or the other.
Here in Malta?
Yes, here in Malta, stayed back in Malta. Not that if anybody left at all, maybe a few persons, like 2 or 3 persons. Everybody stayed back and everybody's working. I'm not talking about just doing something to earn money, but working professional jobs. HR, IT, all sorts. Business management, gaming. all sorts. So it's just the pain of finishing your studies before you look for a job. That's just the thing.
Which was just 1 year
for you. Just 1 year program. So I didn't even know when we finished. I didn't even know.
So how would you describe the cost of living as a student here in Malta?
Well, whether you're a student or you're a worker, cost of living is almost similar, but it depends on you as a person.
Say as a single person,
as not as a family. Okay, as a single person, averagely on a monthly basis, with your rent, with your feeding, with everything. Let me just say on a monthly basis, you just cut your coat according to your material. Let's say I want to break it down now to make it very easy to assimilate. Let's say accommodation, if you are a student, a single person, and you are not staying alone, you are staying in a shared apartment.
Yeah.
A shared apartment, let's say an average of 350 to 400 euros monthly rent.
Yeah.
Let's say 400, including bills. So food is the cheapest thing you can see in Malta. When it comes to feeding, it's the cheapest commodity here. In fact, you don't even need to stress yourself about feeding. Even if you are someone that likes food, it's still the cheapest thing you can see in Malta.
Yes.
And good thing, transportation is free.
It's free. Not totally free.
It's just to get a bus card.
Not totally free because it depends on, for the bus. Now, if you want to get to a place at a certain time, you have to wake up like hours before the time.
I understand. But as a student, that you know that you want to save money. Even as I work now, if I still want to go to places, I still calculate my bus, my timing. And I still go with the bus. And I still don't miss my bus. So for a student that really want to save money, you will have to calculate, the bus timings are there. You can even search online. That's okay. What time is my bus coming? You will get it online.
But sorry, but you understand that when you go to the bus stop sometimes,
you can stay for a
long time.
I understand. But to be very, very honest, comparing Malta to other parts of Europe, some countries in Europe, the transportation system is not free.
Yeah.
For everything you do, you pay for it. Whether by train or by bus, you pay for it. But in Malta, you have just apply for the bus card, and everywhere you're going is free. If you can meet up with the timing. But if you are not able to meet up with that, you can now come with taxi or something, which is your decision. But to be honest, government has tried in that area, that they made it very free for everybody, even though the timing can be frustrating sometimes. Maybe you have an appointment by 4 p.m. and you have to get to bus station and the bus is coming by 4:05 already. So you can't meet up. But at least, to be honest, they have tried because it's free if you can manage your timing. But it's only in few cases you have to come with taxi and the like. But I think compared to because I've been to other parts of Europe, I know that everywhere you go, you pay for it. Everywhere you go,
or you just walk
or you walk it. Or if you are the one that like bicycle, you like bicycle.
Or scooters.
Or scooters. So at least this is free. We have to give kudos to the government for that.
Okay.
When we came in, it wasn't free.
Really?
This was just a decision that happened after COVID.
After 2020?
Yes, this just happened after COVID. When I came in, you have to top up your card every month. Yes. When I came in, you get bus card, you top it up every month, and you have to be refilling it every month and that. However, students were given that preference. So students were charged very less. In fact, government used to top up for students freely every month. It's only when you now exhaust your top up.
Doesn't matter where you're from.
For me, then as a student, it was government will top up my card for me. But if I decide to be going to places every day, every minute, and I finish my top up, I have to now buy more. But every month, government will top up for every student, irrespective of your nationality.
Okay.
So we are just.
So for students, transportation is almost free.
It was free because where were you going? For God's sake. Even what the top up for us was enough every month. No matter where you were going, was enough.
So in a month now in 2023,
yes,
will you say an average for a month you can spend up to like 1,000 euros? Feeding, cost of accommodation that you're paying monthly, and transportation.
If you are a smart person, 800 should be enough. As a student, to be honest, I'm talking from experience. That's even as at now. As at then, you can spend less. As at when we came, you could spend less, to be honest. But because, of course, everything has gone up.
Yeah.
But as at then, you could live comfortably within 600 to 700 as at then, as a student, with your feeding and your rent and everything. But now, let's say within 800 to 1,000. Let me give that range.
Okay.
On monthly, you are okay. No matter how reckless you are in spending, you should be able to come. As a student, you should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for working here in Malta, the transitioning, was it smooth?
It was very smooth. In fact, The good thing is that before I even finished, I got jobs waiting for me.
Wow.
That's why I said, just keep doing your thing.
Were you applying while
I was applying
working?
while studying. I was applying, and because of the previous experiences I had,
Okay.
and that was speaking. So I already had job waiting before I finished.
Yeah.
So when I finished, I just had to quickly start. But one thing, I had to travel to Nigeria when I finished to meet family and everything. So I stopped. When I came back, I got. In fact, when I was in Nigeria was when I got another job already.
Wow.
I wasn't even in Malta when I got the job. But the job, they had to tell me, say, we are going to wait for you to arrive. Because I stayed in Nigeria for like 2 months. Said, don't worry, we will wait when you arrive. Just let us know. It's not difficult. To be honest, I know people complain a lot. Getting the job abroad is difficult. Maybe your mindset.
True.
But I can tell you,
field you're
or what field. So that's why I said those two fields, the business management field. And why tech and business are working together is that we know that in this generation, the tech has dominated business.
True.
In fact, business management is done better by tech.
Yes.
So
AI.
I'm telling you. So that's why those two
and things
those
like
two
ChatGPT.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why you can consider either of the two. And I can tell you for free, I don't see you struggling when you finish your studies to get a job. I don't see anyone struggling because they are waiting for you already.
Okay. So, do you use your blue card? Is the blue card is what they give to you when you're studying or after you study while working?
It's the same thing, whether you call it blue card or anything. Resident card is resident card. Yes.
Okay.
But when you're studying, the card is the same actually. Okay. But when you're studying, it is just called a resident card.
Okay.
But when you now transition after your study and you got a job, it is a combination of resident card and work permit. But still the same card that serves dual purpose. So it is used as your work permit, it is used as your resident card. So that carries the name of your employer.
Okay.
It carries the name of your employer because it is tied to your employment. That's why it is a work permit. For instance, if you are changing job, you are changing employer, you have to apply for a new card, even though the current one is not expired yet.
Yeah.
You have to apply for a new one that will be tied to your new employer. So your card, your resident card as a worker in Malta is always tied to your employment.
Okay.
So it serves both as work permit and as a resident card.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you have any recommendations for anybody that is looking forward to moving to Malta?
In terms of job or what?
In terms of job. In terms of
it's when you arrive Malta, there are always some reputable recruitment agencies, and I recommend one. Connect is one of them I will recommend to anybody, whether you are even within Malta or you are still outside Malta. It's one reputable organization that can help you every stage. They will help you.
Connect, like
K-O-N. I'm not sure. K-O-N-N.
Okay, I'll just drop that.
You can just drop it on the tire, yeah. But it's K, not C.
Okay.
K-O-N-N-E-C-T, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, Connect. So that's it. And there are other ones too. I won't
on Facebook, or how do you connect to them?
LinkedIn. They have LinkedIn. Then they have their website as well.
Okay.
They are on LinkedIn on their website. They assist a lot, especially for TCN. We call them TCN, third country nationals.
Okay.
All of us that came from other countries like not European countries. So they help a lot. That's one. Then even yourself, be bold enough to go to all these organizations, search them, apply. Apart from the recruitment agencies, search for these companies, throw in your CVs, and make sure you convert your CV to Europass status. They call it Europass standard. You can go online and Google it, Europass CV.
Okay, I'll put that also in the
Europass. EUROPASS.
Okay.
Europass. Euro and pass.
Okay.
That's the standard CV they recognize in Malta. Okay. In most European countries, but to the largest in Malta.
As it is, I've learned something.
It's just a prototype CV. Just convert your CV to that type and save it. In fact, the good thing is that's what people don't know. People train CVs and they don't get acknowledgement because they are not in Europass.
Yeah.
So it's a secret that you want to.
It's not like
in fact, the company will not even. They won't even read it. That's the truth.
Okay.
They won't even open it to read if it's not a Europass.
Okay.
So learn to go. You can Google. Anybody can Google it. Europass. Convert your CV to that type. If you are looking for a job in Malta, and send those CVs out to companies, they will reach out back to you.
Great.
So they just want to know what you can offer. Every other employer wants to see what you are bringing to the table. So I know that many of our people are so loaded with ideas and skills. So
very skilled.
You can never struggle.
Very skilled. Nigerians are very.
Oh my God.
They are very industrious.
I have met a lot of them. You know that these people have a lot of things to offer.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't struggle to get it.
So basically, that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir,
You're
for
welcome.
agreeing to do this on this platform.
It's my pleasure.
And I hope you guys have learned one or two. If you have any questions regarding this topic, work and study in Malta, please leave a comment below and I'll get back to you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by to this channel, and we hope to see you in our next vlog. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.